Hi everyone, and welcome to another interesting day on planet Earth. I'm coming today to you because there is so much shifting that's happening, especially in our inner world and also in the outer world. Certainly a lot of people are in a state of fear around the current financial issues, and it seems like a theme. I like to think of it as themes because it seems to be just a rolling of themes as it moves through the different agendas. But there is definitely a shift happening, and people are starting to get quite fearful because you attack people's source of income or attack what they've accumulated or their ability to live, and then you certainly have people's attention. And as I say in our E equals VS community, perhaps this is another way of helping people to shift from where they've had their thinking into perhaps having their eyes open or another awareness, because we are going through the time where our consciousness is certainly being upgraded. We're seeing that through the Schumann resonance, which has been quite high. It was 25 hertz today. We're also seeing that happen with the solar flares. There's a big hole in the sun, so we're seeing a lot more of that light energy coming and certainly upgrading the consciousness, but also activating the DNA and awakening the DNA that the medical industry will have you think that it's just junk. And if you think about it, you look in the outer world and everything is in such divine order. How could the creator have just created sort of junk DNA in our body? That just doesn't even make sense. So I wanted to also come today because I am a great researcher, and within our community I'm always presenting something a little bit different. And so yesterday I was at a meeting with 4 interesting gentlemen who are experts in their field, and they were sort of talking about where the money system is, who controls the money. And basically, if you go back, it's all around the Crown and the Holy See, 12 Jesuits of the Vatican, and that's a whole other story that I'm not going to have here because more than likely YouTube will shut me down. But yes, but also what's been coming around is, the true history of what we believed is our history of Earth. Now, many people don't understand that after World War II, our history books were written, and perhaps you will understand that the narrative is always trying to be controlled, depending who's talking about it. So I want to share a little something with you. I'm going to share my screen so you can see this. So I can share it with you. So I probably need my glasses on for this too. So this little bit of information I want to pull up. It's a human femur. It's 47 inches, and it says in the late 1950s, during a road construction, the southeast Turkey in the Euphrates Valley, many tombs containing the remains of giants were uncovered. At 2 sites, the leg bones were measuring to be about 120 centimetres. That's 47.24 inches. So Joe Taylor, who's the director of the Fossil Museum there in Texas, was commissioned to sculpt the anatomy correctly and to scale the human femur. So you're seeing that, look, next to this man, actually, this bone looks pretty much giant. And you might think, oh, that's strange, that's just one, but there is evidence all over the world. So some people who follow the Bible remembers that, they were talking about the Nephilim, the giants of the earth in the early days. I'd like to show you some pictures, just some random pictures, and if you go back and start researching, you'll start to see pictures of people that look like giants. So let me just show you this one. And this image. So you might think, oh, well, that's, they're sketched up or whatever. No, in the day, there were people that were considered giants so over 15 feet tall. If you look at some of the ancient buildings where they had massive doorways, it's not just part of architectural sculpturing, it's actually because there were giants that existed in the world. And we're told in stories there's, Jack and the Beanstalk, and there was a big giant living up a stalk. But in fact, the giants did roam the earth. But you weren't ever told about that. And what humanity is discovering now, and I'll stop sharing that, what humanity is discovering now, that there have been a whole lot of our history that has been basically been corrupted so that we don't know what to believe. And most people look on the television and see the narrative and they think, oh yes, this is the truth because I've seen it on telly. I had to admit, I switched over to 60 Minutes last night because they were talking about gender and how they are allowing children to choose their gender. They're not assigning them a boy and a girl. And to me, after about 10 minutes, I just had to turn it off. The frequency that was coming through the television of trying to manipulate the thinking, not just the words, but the frequency they send out, the subliminal frequency. It's trying to convince people of this absolute woke, silly narrative. I don't want to go in too much, and that's how we've been grown. That's how we've evolved through these agendas to have us steer ourselves in a certain way. And so currently, as I said before, people are feeling that very much with what is happening with the financial system. And we are going into a collapse. And there are two timelines with that. And there is a timeline of more AI, one world body governing us. There is digital assets, all those sort of talks that just basically frightens the average person who's around my age or a bit older. So I just want you to know that the point of reference for you is actually in your heart. The point of reference is to come back to you, get into nature and drop in and stop listening to the outer world. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need to do things, but the thing we need to set into as a society is our inner strength and our inner courage, and remembering that we are divine, sovereign beings. And so, in doing that, we certainly need to be educated. We certainly need to know what's coming on instead of just sitting back and thinking, oh my gosh, what can I do? I'm just one tiny person. That's what they want you to believe. There is a whole invisible realm that's there supporting you. Not only that, we are multi-dimensional, so we exist on 12 levels, 12 dimensions, all at the same time. My focus with Grigori Grabovoi is to train people and their consciousness to start seeing beyond what they see in their physical eyes, to start to be aware the different positions of their consciousness and how to harness that power to change the carbon base that we're in, to change reality, but also to marry the spiritual aspect. So it's a beautiful coming together of spirituality and the science of spirituality, so that you step into your power, so that you know that you are having an influence and a shift, and at the same time developing and being careful with the words we speak, being aware of the energy around you when it's being taken off track, or you haven't created healthy boundaries to say, you know what, I don't like how you're speaking to me. This is not how I want to interact with you. So before I go today, we had 2 weeks ago we had a beautiful live seminar, and it was the most heart-opening experience I've had in such a long time. We had a group online and a group in the room, so it was a little challenging, but it was absolutely beautiful experience. And one of the things that we read to them was from a book that Brian and a dear friend Hannes wrote called Soul Talk. So every morning Brian in Melbourne in Australia, Hannes in Kuala Lumpur, would sit down and journal with their soul and then come up with their soul talk. And in the afternoon, they'd read it to each other and copy it down, and they created 5 books. And it was interesting, even being in different locations, the message was the same. So I'd like to read you from this book called Soul Talk. It's from book 3. And I'd love you just to relax. And I think the best way to do that, I've put down my, here again, I'll just share my screen with you because I guess I'd love you just to be in a very relaxed space. So I'd like you to sort of sit back, be really calm, take a few deep breaths, and then, as if we're in meditation, I will read you from Soul Talk today. So just become aware of your breath in the area of your stomach. You might, in your sacral area, you may even want to put your hands on that area and just take a few deep breaths in. And I want you to be aware of your breath at your sacral area. And as you take a big breath in, I want you to send the energy of that breath right down your legs, right past your Earth Star chakra and into the crystalline grid of Mother Earth. And here we just bring our connection deeply into the planet, deeply with our connection of our physical body, because we are here now, shifting to 5D Earth. Now take a breath in, up to the area of your heart. And at the area of your heart, imagine an infinity sign. And just imagine you're breathing your breath right around the infinity sign, a bit like a racing car racing around the infinity sign. Take another deep breath in, and this time send it up through your head into your soul star chakra. And take another deep breath in, and we connect to the Creator. 11981. 11981. 11981. And we connect to the light of the Creator. 123 70744. 123 70744. 123 70744. And just breathe in that connection to the Creator, to the Creator's light, and feeling that surrounding your physical body like a pillar of light. As if there is golden stardust in that pillar of light, being absorbed into every cell, organ, and system of your physical body. That pillar of light is a bit like a tornado where it's spinning dynamically, removing any distorted information that may be affecting you. And in this point of stillness, I read these words. It's called the breath in time. I awaken into the dreams of my eternal soul, as soul radiates our divine mission into our flow. The mind wonders as it tries to unpack these dreams of the night, seeking a depth of understanding, and soul continues to guide us as we open ourselves to receive. We have journeyed a long way in these recent years, from our childhood and adulthood, disconnected within the structure of duality, but deep within there has always been a hint, a message, a guide, guiding us back into our heart's way. It has taken time for us to shed the contamination of education, religious dogma, and cultural conditioning. It has taken us time to understand that the outer world is a reflection of what is truly happening in the inner world. You should celebrate your development. Step into your gratitude for the depth of love that your soul has expressed to you, and embrace you in. Embrace your self-love in this moment with a divine thank you, for we are well down the track, walking our stepping stones into oneness. It has taken us eons to understand the magic of the genie, but we now understand how material forms. We now understand how contamination gets in the way. We have begun to treat our bodies and their sacred connection as the tabernacle of our soul. It's much easier to influence matter through the hearts and minds of a physical body. Our awakening continues as we step into our mastery and our divine understanding. Our divine mastery through us into the physical world. So take a moment and rejoice your progress, for perhaps it has taken you 20 to 30 years, yet only a few seconds if we consider the life of the universe and the life of our soul. Just a breath in time, a breath in our evolution, as we step back into being masters of light and the masters of love that we truly are. Awaken into the arms of creation. Continue your journey into self-love and eternal play. You are loved beyond all measures. You are embraced by creation, who is looking forward to experiencing your play. Just take those words to the depths of your heart, to the depths of your soul, and consider that today. I send a light impulse from my soul and a light impulse from the Creator's soul, and I fix the result connection to our soul according to all parameters of creation and on all levels of reality, now and for all time. 8898. Just be conscious of your breath. Just be conscious of your body. Just be conscious of the power within. Have a lovely day, everyone, and see you again soon.